မင်္ဂလာပါ Extreme Metal Band တွေရဲ့အကြောင်းဒုတိယပိုင်းအားကြိုဆိုပါတယ်ရှေ့ဗီဒီယိုမှာ early 80s မှာပေါ်ပေါက်ခဲ့တဲ့ Metal Band တွေအပြင် Extreme Metal Band တွေကို influence ဖြစ်စေခဲ့တဲ့ Hardcore Punk နဲ့ Crust Punk တွေရဲ့ album တွေကိုကျွန်တော်ထည့်သွင်းခဲ့ပါတယ်ရှေ့ part 1 မှာထည့်သွင်းဖြစ်ခဲ့တဲ့ Thrash Metal ရှေ့ပြေး band တွေဖြစ်တဲ့ Metallica, Exodus, Anthrax, Megadeth, Onslaught တို့ရဲ့အကြောင်းကိုကျွန်တော်ရဲ့နောက်ထပ် favorite genre ဖြစ်တဲ့ Thrash Metal Band တွေရဲ့ဗီဒီယိုမှာထည့်သွင်းသွားပါမယ်အခုတခါရှေ့ဗီဒီယိုမှာပါဝင်ခဲ့တဲ့ band တွေပေါ်အခြေခံပြီးတော့ပေါ်ပေါက်လာခဲ့တဲ့ Grindcore band တွေနဲ့ Death Metal band တွေအကြောင်းကိုဒီဗီဒီယိုမှာထည့်သွင်းသွားကြပါတယ်ကဲကြည့်လိုက်အောင်
From an early age, the guitar-based rock metal was always popular in England. You know, you would have Iron Maiden, Saxon, Judas Priest, Motorhead in the top 10. But me and my friends, we went further. We wanted Celtic Frost, we wanted Bathory, Sepultura, Voivod, Metallica and Slayer, bands like this, you know. We wanted the harder stuff.
In the case of Napalm Death and the early British grind scene, stuff like Iron Maiden was like pub rock to them. Those guys are into all kinds of
heavy sounds and heavy music.
And they start to get involved in the underground tape trading scene. So in addition to stuff like Hellhammer and Celtic Frost, they get to hear a lot of really fast, really aggressive underground music.
Yeah, because of the tape trading community. We were listening to bands from the States and from Europe who were also playing pretty fast. That's how we discovered bands like GBH, Exploited, Discharge. All that was influencing us, and we started to cross over. You know, started listening to hardcore punk as well. All these punk bands were singing about real things, so lyrically it was a little bit more grounded. You know, these bands had something different to say as opposed to, you know, Hail Satan and whatever, you know, but...
Death metal is a music that is boundaryless. You can be as heavy as you want, you can be as sick as you want, you can be as fast or as slow as you want.
As far as people giving credit to Death as being the inventors of this form of music, I can't go that far and accept that type of comment. I would have to say bands like Venom, who were out in 1980, I think Venom were really truly the first to do this really, actually, well, Motorhead also, because they were very raw and aggressive, but Venom, for this type of music, I think Venom would have to be one of the key bands, definitely. You know, and there are other bands that inspired me, such as Deicide and Metallica when they first came out, Anvil, Merciful Fate. These bands really, you know, they weren't necessarily death metal, but they inspired what is today. You know, these were definitely key factors within this type of aggressive music and, you know, the underground in general. From the very eyes, a reflection of the mistake to the end of the night. You're a jewel in the minds of the life.
There was no metal scene in Flint, Michigan. We were always booked at a punk show for punk crowds, but they loved us. You know, they loved us, and we were a part of the scene. You know,
I knew that our music was too metal and too sort of fast and heavy for most of those people to get into, because they were listening to like Suicidal Tendencies and Black Flag and stuff at the time.
We also changed the way I think we approached our stage show, like the typical metal bandstanding that metal musicians do, you know, stuff like that. We didn't do that. We pretty much put on a punk show.
Because we were fans of extreme music, we wanted to come up with the most extreme music, something that we could be fans of. What we were trying to do was be extreme, and the Horrified record, I think, just sort of shows a moment in history of what we were doing, which was pushing the envelope. And, you know, in the context of 1986, it's still a pretty extreme and heavy record.
fast drumming, real crunchy guitars, and heavy vocals, you know. Pretty much, you know, the vocals and the lyrical content have a lot to do with the death metal sound. You know, there's bands that are grindcore that, you know, have a little different sound, but some people might say they're death metal. So it's basically all in the listeners. Grindcore is a little more of like a hardcore edge to it. You know, they sing a little bit more about politically involved lyrics and things like that. They really don't dwell on horror or anything like that, or Satanism. So I think, you know, that pretty much separates the two.
The amount of skill and dexterity and stamina you need alone just to play this is like mind-blowing. I mean, it's like you have a guy with like 8 arms and like 4 feet playing. I mean, you're all over the place. You know, non-stop. I mean, you know, whether you think it's garbage or not, I mean, you really have to give everybody.
What makes death metal viable? Why would a guitar player want to play death metal? Because you build up some serious fucking stamina for one thing, doing all that shredding with the right hand. There are a lot of talented lead guitarists in the genre, and I might add that very fast lead guitar works very well over blast beats because you have a completely intense atmosphere. Everybody's flying, right? And to people who would be snobby about it and think it's talentless crap, that's either your personal taste or you're just a dick.
Not anybody can just do this. A lot of times, you know, people look at what we do and what you play, and they look at it and say, yeah, you know, it's just noise and it's garbage, whatever. But if you listen to it and you truly listen to it and pick out the pieces of it, it's some of the most technical stuff that you will ever hear on the planet. And you know, as far as just being able to try and do it, you know, it takes a lot. It's just not something that just comes natural.
It's good to, I think, kind of have that no boundaries type of attitude.
Oh, without a doubt.
Anything goes.
Writing, we just go by feeling. That's it. It's all
that's
feeling.
What I meant before.
I mean, when it comes to the writing process, yeah, there are no rules. You know, you just you throw the book away and that's it. You know, you just go for it.
Well, that's what's so cool about it, because, you know, you want to create something that's unique, something that has that feeling, and you really don't want to stick to any kind of rules, you know, or standards. You just want to do what you got to do to make it happen. And that's cool about this. And if you listen to this type of music, that's anything goes. You know what I'm saying? There's just so much going on.
I mean, there's no boundaries. It's like you make your own boundaries. You know?
That's right.
You can take the music as far as you want. You know, you're the only one that limits yourself. And when we write, we just go for it. No matter what it is, you know, as long as it has the right feeling, you know, that's what works. And that's the way we do it.
It's the way you have to be. And I think most people, you know, who write this type of music are like that too. I mean, they just throw the book away and say, okay, let's just do it, you know. And that's whatever comes out, comes out.
အခုကြည့်ခဲ့ရတဲ့ဟော Grindcore နဲ့ Death Metal musician တွေရဲ့ထင်မြင်ယူဆချက်တွေပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်မြင်ပြောရရင်တော့ Grindcore ဆိုတာကတော့ Hardcore Punk နဲ့ Death Metal တွေကြားခံဒေသလို့ပဲမြင်ပါတယ်ကဲအခု Death Metal နဲ့ Grindcore genre ရဲ့ရေးပါခဲ့တဲ့ album တွေကျွန်တော်ထည့်သွင်းပေးသွားမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်
Do you know what a fucking dead man is? That's what you are, a fucking dead man.
Getting the soul to placing her feet down to his spine. Hell is descent. Getting the tongue, rolling fast.